Jasmine Pineda had always been a romantic, the kind who cried during rom-coms, kept a playlist of love songs for every season, and believed in signs from the universe. But after a string of heartbreaks, she found herself questioning whether true love was a fairy tale sold by pop culture. At 31, Jasmine had grown tired of dating games. She had met too many people who weren't ready, weren't honest, or simply weren't good for her. Red flags, she learned, came in all colors and disguises. She wanted something real, something steady, someone who could meet her with the same energy she gave out. That's when she met Matt. It wasn't at a glamorous event, or through some grand romantic twist of fate. It was at a local community cleanup day in San Diego. Jasmine had shown up solo, armed with gloves and good intentions. She wasn't expecting to meet anyone, let alone someone who'd change her life. Matt was already there when she arrived, helping an elderly volunteer organize supplies. He looked normal, not the kind of normal that made her eyes glaze over, but the kind that immediately put her at ease. He wore a soft blue t-shirt with a faded graphic of Yosemite and a pair of worn sneakers. His smile was easy, his voice calm. "Need gloves?" he asked, offering her a pair from the bin. "Thanks," she said, taking them. "You're very organized." "I'm a middle school science teacher," he replied with a shrug. Organization is survival. That made her laugh, and it was the first of many things about Matt that Jasmine would come to appreciate. Not flashy, not performative, just genuine. A green flag wrapped in a kind soul. The slow spark over the next few weeks. Jasmine and Matt kept bumping into each other, first at another community event, then at a local coffee shop where he was grading papers. She learned he loved hiking, made a mean butternut squash soup, and volunteered at a shelter on weekends. He learned she was a graphic designer with a side hustle in watercolor art, loved classic literature, and could quote Jane Austen and Kendrick Lamar with equal precision. There was no chase, no cryptic texts, no power plays, just two people talking, laughing, sharing. Jasmine wasn't used to this kind of energy. There was no anxiety in her chest when she texted him, no second guessing. Matt was consistent. He communicated clearly, showed up when he said he would, and listened when she spoke. He's like a walking green flag, Jasmine told her best friend, Carla. One evening, Carla raised an eyebrow. Like, emotionally available green flag, or just not a jerk green flag? Both. Jasmine said, "He's safe, but not boring. He makes me feel like I can be soft, like I don't have to always be on guard." Carla smiled. "Girl, I think you found a unicorn." Love, steady and strong when they officially started dating. Matt did something that floored Jasmine. He asked her what she needed in a relationship. "I've been in therapy long enough to know that love isn't guessing," he told her over dinner. "I'd rather ask and learn than assume." That night, they talked for hours about attachment styles, past wounds, communication preferences, and personal goals. Jasmine realized that emotional intelligence wasn't just a buzzword in Matt's world, it was how he lived. She didn't have to teach him how to care, he already knew. The first time she had a bad day and shut down emotionally, Matt didn't try to fix it. He gave her space, sent her a thinking of you message, and waited patiently for her to resurface. When she did, he welcomed her without making her feel guilty for needing time. It was in the small things that his love showed up, in how he always made sure her favorite tea was stocked in his kitchen, how he remembered her dog Peanut's vet appointments, or how he'd randomly text her a poem he thought she'd like. The challenges that made them stronger. But even with all the green flags, love wasn't without its growing pains. One evening, about 8 months in, Jasmine had a panic attack after a conversation about long-term plans. It wasn't Matt's fault, he had simply asked where she saw herself in 5 years, and the question triggered all the self-doubt she had tucked away. She told him she wasn't sure she believed in forever. Matt, instead of withdrawing or pressuring her, gently held her hand and said, "I'm here, we'll take it one day at a time. No rush, no pressure. I just want to build something with you, whatever that looks like." His patience wasn't performative, it was who he was. Later, when Matt faced his own crisis, his father was diagnosed with Parkinson's. Jasmine was there for him in return. She supported him through hospital visits, difficult decisions, and nights when he didn't want to talk but didn't want to be alone either. Their love grew in the hard moments. It became something weathered, tested, and true. A new kind of proposal after 2 years together. Matt planned a trip to Big Sur. It wasn't flashy, no photographers, no viral TikTok stunt, just the two of them, a rented cabin in the woods, and the sound of waves crashing below. On their last morning, over coffee and almond croissants, Matt handed her a letter. It wasn't a proposal in the traditional sense. It was a list, a very Matt-like list. Why I want to keep choosing you. 1. Because you challenge me to grow, but never make me feel like I'm not enough. 2. Because you laugh at my terrible puns and steal the blankets but still warm my heart. 3. Because even when you're scared, you stay. 4. Because we're better together, not in a sappy, codependent way, but in a this makes sense kind of way. 5. Because love, with you, is a safe place. At the end of the letter, he added, so I guess what I'm saying is, want to keep choosing each other? For as long as it feels right, and maybe even longer? She laughed, then cried, then said yes. Beyond the fairy tale, Jasmine and Matt never claimed to be perfect. They still argued, mostly about what counted as a clean kitchen or which movie to watch on Fridays. But there was always mutual respect, always repair. Years later, Jasmine would look back at their beginning and smile at how gentle love found her when she stopped chasing chaos. She'd go on to share their story on podcasts, panels, and even in a self-published book called Green Flag Love, Redefining Romance in a Modern World. She wanted people, especially women like her who had given too much to the wrong people, to know that love didn't have to hurt to be real. The takeaway: in a world that often romanticized drama and chaos, Jasmine Pineda found love in something quieter, softer, but infinitely stronger. Matt was proof that green flag men existed, men who were kind without being passive, emotionally mature without being preachy, and loving without keeping score. Together, they built a love based on honesty, communication, and deep mutual care. And while their story wasn't a movie, it was real, and that, Jasmine believed, was better.